Welcome to Crash My Podcast. This week is very special. I've said that about all of the episodes that I've done so far, but this week is Crash My Playa week. If you don't know what Crash My Playa is, it is Luke Bryan's resort fiasco that he does in Cancun every year. In January, he brings the biggest artists in country music, brings them all to Mexico. They all drink, they all party, they have fun. Luke is playing 2 or 3 nights, and it's just chaos, and I get so much great content from all the videos that people post on it. I've wanted to go for so long, but you have to be 21, unfortunately. Even though the legal drinking age in Mexico is 18, still gotta be 21. So one day, I will go there, and I will live my dreams to the fullest, partying with Luke Bryan. Whoa, voice crack. Be partying with Luke Bryan. Also, I am slightly sick right now, so I'm going to try my best not to talk as much as I usually do. So I'm going to be playing some 5 songs that I think are great, that I think Luke Bryan is blasting right now in Mexico, because it's Luke Bryan and he loves Mexico to pieces. The first song being One Margarita. And I already talked about this in the last episode. One Margarita was my song that made me love Luke Bryan, because he released it during a pandemic when everyone was freaking out about COVID. And everyone, Luke Combs was releasing a song about, 6 feet apart and how everything will come back to normal eventually. And Luke Bryan released a song about drinking margaritas in Mexico, just getting hammered. And I loved that. I loved that he didn't pay attention to what was going on at all. And he was like, we're going to get through this. We're going to drink our way through this. It's going to be fun. And in a couple years, we'll all be in Mexico again. So that's why I love Luke Bryan, is he's just such a fun guy who really loves to party. And that's him. That's literally all that there is to most of his music, is just fun party songs, and it's great. I love it. With that being said, here is One Margarita. Another thing about Crash My Playa that I think is really fun is the last night, the closing night, Luke brings all of the artists on stage, and they just kind of ad-lib their way through the set list. They'll play Luke's songs, they'll play the other people's songs, and then they'll just play 90s country. If you don't know anything about Luke, Luke loves 80s and 90s country. It's what he grew up on. He covered it. His whole career, he's covered it. And he actually has a very good music taste that a lot of other country artists don't have. And I think it's interesting because you'll mention, you'll hear him mention something about, this artist that nobody's really heard of from the 90s, and you don't realize that Luke Bryan actually knows country music. He gets so much hate for saying that he ruined country music and that he doesn't know its history and that he doesn't truly appreciate it. Luke Bryan appreciates it. Luke Bryan really is the right kind of progressiveness that country music needs. He knows the roots of it, and he's creating his own genre of it. So this next song is called It Sure Is Monday, which I thought would fit pretty good with Crash My Playa theme here. Just not really caring about the fact that Monday is coming. Also, the Luke Bryan concerts that happen on Thursdays are so strange. It's summertime, and I guess the students don't have school, but the adults do the next day. So I will never understand why they do Luke Bryan concerts on Thursdays, because it doesn't seem like as many people would show up, and it's just not a good idea to go to a Luke Bryan concert before you have work the next morning. So, anyways, here is It Sure Is Monday Here is It Sure Is Monday by Mark Chestnut. Alright, that was It Sure Is Monday by Mark Chestnut. Great song, love it. I grew up listening to a lot of 90s country too, so I say that I have great taste, but of course I didn't grow up in the decade, so I don't know all of it. I just hear from like Spotify radio stations and I add it to my playlist. I have a playlist that's about 31 hours long. If you want to look at it, it's called Doc's Bar on Spotify. Probably the most intensive playlist that I have of 90s and 80s country. Very proud of the playlist, by the way. So, yeah. But I Got a Beer in My Hand is Luke's, I guess he released it like 2 songs ago, maybe 1. I don't remember anymore. Like, he hasn't released any music recently, so my head's just in a fog with how far back all these songs are going. But in that, he mentioned a song called Party Crowd. Of course, I can't remember what freaking lyric it is, but he mentions the song. And I thought, Party Crowd, great song. You should include it in this playlist also. Party Crowd is by David Lee Murphy, who sings Dust on the Bottle. And Luke, I want to say that he's written like a song with him, or David Lee has written songs for Luke. But he used to bring David Lee up on stage a couple times and sing Dust on the Bottle. Dust on the Bottle he used to do with Cole Swindell and John Langston when they were on tour together. And that was a fun time. They would do that, and then they would do just, their shenanigans. With Luke, there's no planning. There's no planning in anything. He's just a wing it, fly by the seat of your pants kind of guy. So here's Party Crowd, which is quite possibly Luke Bryan's favorite party song. All right, next up, we have the most requested song for Luke Bryan to ever exist. Although I think Kiss Tomorrow Goodbye might be coming up. It might be getting more streams than Country Girl just because of TikTok. And it was a TikTok trend and people know that song now. So Country Girl Shake It For Me was such a big hit for him. And I'm really surprised that it never went number 1. Like, really, really surprised that it never went number 1. Because that song changed his career. That song defines Luke Bryan and still does to this day. Perfect party song, perfect Crash My Playa song. He really gets into it and he makes like his own ad-libbed remixes. Like recently he's been doing Shake That and Talk Dirty by Jason Derulo, Shake That by Eminem. And it's been good. He's very eclectic in his music tastes. For sure. So here's Country Girl Shake It For Me, because I'm sure that he's playing this at Crash My Playa right now. Alright, Country Girl Shake It For Me by Mr. Country Girl. Shake It For Me Girl. Luke Bryan. Fun guy. Like, he's gotta be so fun to party with. Just the life of the party. Absolutely. Speaking of which, there was a time when Luke's piano didn't work while he was performing, and so he had to like go a cappella and make up his own set list. And so he decided, why not do these hip-hop rap songs that I grew up listening to? And it was funny. It was great. He did like Miss Jackson, and he did the She Got Them Apple Bottom Jeans, whatever that song's called, Get Low. And then he did Get Low. But then he started doing No Hands. And No Hands is a wild song. And for Luke Bryan to do it is like, he got into it. He really, really got into it. And I hope to goodness that he does this song at Crash My Playa, because every time he does it, it makes me so happy. So happy. So, here it is. The final song. I know, putting No Hands in the same kind of playlist as a Mark Chestnut song is a little bit wild, a little bit strange, but here we go. Here is No Hands. Thank you, Luke Bryan. All right, thank you so much for tuning in to Crash My Podcast this week. I'm sorry that I feel like I'm getting sick and that I need to save my voice, but I figured, next week I'll have a voice to be able to do a better episode for you guys. But here it is. If you're listening in your car, your room, while you're cooking dinner, thank you so much. It means the world. I am doing, I'm starting, I've started a daily thing where I play Luke Bryan songs until he lets me meet him. I'm hoping that he'll comment on one of my videos and be like, yeah, like, come out to a show, this tour, and we'll, like, let you backstage and stuff, and that'll be so cool. I'm on day 43, and he still hasn't contacted me. The man follows me, and he still hasn't contacted me. Like, what the frick? Use TikTok, Luke. Use TikTok. It's okay, he doesn't use TikTok, it's fine. But, yeah, so check that out. Playing Luke Bryan songs until he lets me meet him. And check that out. Check out my Instagram. Check out my TikTok. Send me an email. Leave a comment. Leave a review. Maybe don't leave a review based on this episode because it's not exactly what my bar is. It's a little bit lower than that. But thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. And I'll see you next week for a better episode when I don't sound so nasally and feel like I'm sick. So, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Let's go. Oh, that was cringy. I'm sorry. Bye, guys.